Komona bapasi ya boye nalembi koloba nakasala biso yo matukona nino wanga ninga boye pase simbinga motema mama alingi boye lokutana ya mabe mama masumu double Olinga moto zalili sumute pona nino driblenga boye yormatu
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to say hello and welcome to a fresh, brand new edition of the program ASHFORD GARLEY Live on this beautiful Tuesday night. Today is the 24th of October, 2023, and as always, it feels great to be back home. And Father God, we just want to give you praise, we want to give you honor, we want to magnify your name. Blessed be your holy name forever. Father, you're waking us up this morning. You've given us the strength to be able to go and find food for the family. Thank you for our family. Thank you for the rest of the folks who find themselves in our lives. I want to pray for Liberia and the people of Liberia. In the name of Jesus, we've given thanks. Well, you heard it on. The mastermind, the doctor of love, Basillon Plus, Zikonwia Epedia. Bediaku Egwe play. Merci pour votre contribution. He doesn't eat iron, but he's definitely stronger than a lion. The mastermind, Africa's media, Doobie-Doo extraordinaire. I'm ASHFORD GARLEY. Welcome to the show. At this time, I'd like to say welcome to the Reverend Idatu's Adi. Adi, how you doing, my brother? Welcome to the show.
Thank you, ASHFORD. It's a pleasure to be here one more time. Greetings to all of you wonderful Liberians abroad and home.
I also like to say welcome to my friend and brother, Joel Dennis. Mr. Dennis, how you doing, my man? Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. Good to see everybody, fellow panelists. Thank you.
Andre George Williams, welcome to the show.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, and to your panel staff, thank you also. I can see the young lady face the deal. She's scared.
She's not afraid. And you know, I was listening to this audio tape by Dale Carnegie. You know, the name of a person is the sweetest thing in any language, you know, and calling people by their name makes you feel that you know that person, you know.
And what I was talking about.
And you know, everybody's name is displayed on the platform, so let us practice calling people by their name. In the meantime, we want to get the political menu now from Idatu's Adi.
Well, greetings again once more, everyone. Well, ASHFORD, as it stands now, as we are poised for November 14, we'll be deciding our next president. So Alexander Cummings, among others, are meeting one another with respect to the two front runners, President George Weah and that of the challenger, the Honorable Vice President and Ambassador Joseph Imamboyka. Pictures are trending throughout the internet with respect to Mr. Cummings meeting and smiling with the leaders of the Unity Party and that of CDC, our President George Weah. So it is quite an interesting thing. People are waiting to see who will endorse who in these quite critical moment. Also, the ANC, along with Mr. Cummings, Dr. Monima, and Madam Beslow, they have asked the NEC for a forensic investigation of these boxes or ballots rather, so that the Liberian people, the world at large, can actually know what happened to those votes of 114,000 that were invalid and so forth and so on. So as it stands now, there's a lot of backdoor conversations regarding solicitations of support from both candidates to ultimately be the leader of Liberia.
Let me bring in Joel Dennis. Speaking of backdoor conversation, uh, we saw pictures trending, like you heard Idatu say tonight. We saw comments with President Ware. We also saw comments with former Vice President Boycott. Now, the second round is very crucial. Uh, both candidates are going in the second round with George Weah having a lead. So George Weah won the first round, and we're going to the second round. And now you see the political leaders moving around, maneuvering, trying to solicit votes and support. Now, at this point, you need to show loyalty, love for country. We saw Cummings last election in 2017. He said he will leave the people to make their own decision as to who they were going to vote for. He left them hanging. This time around, will he do the same thing, or will he take a side this time for the better good of the country? Dennis.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for Mr. Cummings, but I certainly hope that he would stick with the opposition, because at one point they were all together trying to unseat George Weah and remove him from the presidency. I did see those photos going around. To be frank with you, it is good for our young democracy to have these leaders, talking to each other. So at the end of the day, hopefully we'll have a peaceful election, and I certainly hope Mr. Cummings will endorse Mr. Boycott for president. That is my hope. I would have loved to have seen a unity ticket all along, but I certainly hope he does endorse. But I don't know how much his endorsement will really play a factor. At this point, he may influence some people, but he's only one vote. I hope the people who voted for him, I don't see them having the same falling into the same ideological category as George Weah. So I don't know what it would take for coming voters to vote for George Weah, but hopefully they won't sit at home and sit on their hands, because that would be an endorsement for George Weah as well. So I hope he come out and vote and endorse Mr. Boycott for president.
Mr. Williams, what do you hope to hear from Alexander Cummings as we prepare ourselves for the second round? Which side do you think he's really going to go on now, even though he's from the opposition bloc?
Yeah, my hope is he endorses Joseph Boycott. I'm very disappointed that George Weah showed numbers that are a lot more than Joseph Boycott at the final tally. But yeah, I do hope very strongly that Alexander Cummings will endorse Joseph Boycott for president of Liberia, because we are at a precipice right now, and it is looking like we are actually in a staging period where the actors are coming out. I went on Google today, and as soon as I got there, I didn't even search anything. George Weah images were popping up all over on Google, as if to say that there is he paid for this for Google to actually promote him like this. So yeah, the actors are out, but my hope is that all of the opposition will rally around the one opposition who is still standing, Joseph Yuma Boycott.
Thank you. Idatu's going into the Premier League. You feel good about yourself when you go into the second round, the quarterfinal, with 1 point ahead. Instead of having a draw and you both share the points. In this situation, President Weah is 1 point ahead going into the quarterfinals. Today, you saw pictures going around with President Weah and Cummings And of course, we saw Ambassador Boycott and Cummings as well. Now, the thing is, people are saying now that the shortest route to the presidency for Cummings is true where we are did with Ellen. Now, others are also saying Cummings cannot make mistake two times. The first time he was with the CPP, and that didn't go too well. And look where he found himself now. So going into the
Well,
quarterfinals, go ahead.
So, well, actually, I first of all, though, want to extend a sincere, heartfelt gratitude to all of the political party leaders for the public to see nationally and internationally these people are meeting and negotiating or having a dialogue around the national interest and trajectory of our country. It's very positive. It sends a strong message to us, the surrogates, that if these people can come together after a highly spirited competition for the highest office in the nation, it's important that we too can come together in the unity and priority of the nation's well-being for a greater good and a collective benefit. So going into these rounds, I like your sports analogy. Let it be very clear. Every football game have injury time or extra time. So we're very confident that going these rounds, the fact that a significant amount of the opposition vote does not like George Weah, President George Weah. We're confident that as they understand the nature of their poverty, they will look at Joseph Imam Boyka as their alternative. Mr. Cummings, in my opinion, will certainly be making a mistake, having realized that those people who voted for him, in which he expected more people to have voted for him, was the vote against George Weah. So you combine all that vote, and you say you're going to give it to George Weah, an administration that you actually describe as irredeemably corrupt, dangerously incompetent, unchangeably irresponsible. I can never see him do that at this point in time.
Joel, how can this guy say the people don't like George Weah and they're fighting? They're struggling to attain 50 plus one. You're in a dead heat with the incumbent. And this is going to be a two-part question, Andre, Joel. You're in a dead heat. You claim that this guy is not doing well for the country. He's unpopular. He has become unpopular now. The Liberian people want to change, but yet you can't beat this guy. On the other hand, George Weah was fighting. He's happy that he's in the second round because George Weah himself knows that he didn't. I mean, he has not done what is that he was supposed to do that he promised to people. Now the people have spoken. So first off, the Unity Party people lied to us when they said they had the tally sheets that put in at 50 plus one, and today the both guys are struggling at 43.
No, Ashford.
I'm not speaking to you, please. With your turn. Go ahead, Joel.
I think first of all, I don't think anybody expected this to go in the first round. No, there was never going to be a 1 round 50 plus winner here. And I don't think that Unity Party was. I believe Unity Party was the underdog in this election. Let's be frank here. George Weah had the power of the incumbency. He deployed unlimited state resources to win this election. He had everything at his disposal, and yet and still, even with all the mysterious thing that has happened in the election, they were only able to keep it, at 43-43. So yeah, I'm not a fan of George Weah, so obviously when I talk, I'm a little bit biased. And I'll tell all the Liberian people that's listening in this country today, you don't. When your children come home with failing grades, you don't go out and celebrate that failure. You probably punish them. You don't reward failure. And there is no way I believe that the Liberian people are going to reward this failure. I mean, like Mr. Williams said, we are at a critical juncture right now. All of us here on this panel, this is do or die for most of us. We don't have no more time to be experimenting with, George Weah, and George Weah was a great football player. I give him credit for that. But when George Weah scored a goal or missed a goal when he was a football player, all I could do was cry. But today, if George Weah missed a political goal, people actually go hungry. Children starve. They don't go to school. So we don't have time to experiment with this. So I hope the opposition can come together and stop playing around. We only got 3 weeks here. Stop playing around. We will hold all of them accountable. With Mr. Cummings cannot come back in 2029. He's finished. So let him stop playing around like that. Thank you.
Mr. Williams, I'm told you bought your tickets already, getting ready to go to Liberia for this second round. Go ahead.
Listen, this second round is going to be heated, and I do want to correct what you said. We're dealing with stuffed ballots here, Ashford. So
I mean, there's no proof that we're dealing with stuffed ballot. You can't just make this accusation that we're dealing with stuffed ballot. Come on now.
I understand.
Where are the evidence?
I totally understand what you are saying, and that's why I sided with you yesterday on your show that we the UP folks should have challenged this result here. We should have fought this. We should have asked for a recount. We should have done everything in our power to make sure the dust doesn't just settle like this. And the way it has settled with George Weah at 800,000 plus votes, it's ridiculous. You didn't do that much. The Liberian people who actually you are claiming voted for you in the 800,000 plus are people who are like Joe Dennis just mentioned, who are starving. They're not gonna cast their ballot for you. This thing, Ashford, I'm sorry, I don't have proof, but I'm telling you with assurance that this is something that occurred, and you were right yesterday. You are right still. We should have challenged this, but just speaking truthfully, we want to show up in Liberia specifically to rally our camp, our people, the people that are on UP side, that want to see change for Liberia, that it's not the past. It's not that foolishness where the president can excuse himself for months on end. That's not the type of change we're looking for. We're looking for a change for a president who will be there and who will cater to the Liberian people needs, like he has done in his past. Joseph Yuma Boyka.
Folks, if you're just joining us, this is ASHFORD GARLEY Live on British Radio Africa. We'd like to say hi to Thomas Kura, James Quick, Henry Dorr, the rest of the crew. Let us show who you're having a great time tonight. Idatus, tell us how prepared at you guys in terms of these second rounds. The poll washers. I mean, we have 15 political subdivisions. I'm pretty sure, as per the admission of some of your surrogates, they didn't do too well in terms of poll washing. And some are saying some of the things that went on, I'm afraid it will not happen again as we go to the second round.
Well, first of all, Ashford, let me just correct what you said, that we lied. We didn't lie. When our chairman, Mr. Luthor Stape, spoke to the public, he invited the fourth estate, such as your institutions, the international community, to his office to review those tally sheets. So we didn't lie about that. Up to now, not
a press conference.
Let me be clear. Let me be clear. We invited the fourth estate to the office. So if the fourth estate has not been there, you cannot consider that a lie. We've invited the international community. So let's be clear. People can make projections concerning their victory, and that's what we did. So that was not a lie. So until the fourth estate can go there and say, oh, we don't have tally sheets, and then, of course, you can say we are lying. Having said that, in terms of our preparation, Ashford, there are lessons learned from the first round, and we are building upon those lessons to ensure that going the second round will maximize all of the needed preparation to ensure that the doubts we have about these elections that have been expressed in the likes of Alexander Cummings, Sarah Beslow, Dr. Moneyba, and of course, surrogates within our camp, it's clear that we intend to learn how prepared are we. When the voting starts, we'll test that preparedness. But rest assured that the lessons learned from the first round will not be repeated.
Idatus, when you talk about tally sheets, let me give you an example. In 2020, Darius Dillon said he had his tally sheets. What did he do? He went to the media institutions, invited the press. They all came, and he displayed those tally sheets, making it difficult for people to manipulate the results. Okay, that's why you call having a tally sheet. But you can't show up at a press conference with a tally sheet in a blue plastic bag and say, "We got what tally sheet right here." Yeah. But you can't. People can't see it. Then you say you telling the truth.
Mr. Garley, when you watch that press conference, did you see anybody within the fourth estate ask to see what's in the blue plastic bag?
But he
When you
kept.
watch the press conference, hold on. When you watch the press conference of our chairman, Mr. Luther Tappek, did anybody in your institution or any institution within the fourth estate go
Those
to the
reports.
office to go and examine those tally sheets? So please, let's encourage the fourth estate to do due diligence before you can say someone is lying.
Sometimes when you trying to prove something, whether or not they ask you, you have to go engage the people, engage the newspaper, display those tally sheets, send it everywhere. But you didn't
There
do
are
that.
2.4 million people, Mr. Garley, who voted. 2.4 million people,
People read.
590
People read.
precincts.
I mean, the radio stations cover the entire country. There are several radio stations that cover the country. You should have gone to the people and display.
Practice.
You didn't do
Early,
that. Oh,
early,
they did it in 2020. You didn't do that. Thank you. Let's move on to Mrs. Lexi Brooks Roberts. Mrs. Roberts, hello. Okay, back to about Joel Dennis. How can you say you're winning? You got your tally sheet, but people can't see the tally sheet. I know you're not a fan of George Weah, but we've got to be fair here, you know.
I think, look, the opposition to UP, there was a lot of mistakes made. Okay, apparently George Weah Medicine Man is probably stronger than the UP people Medicine Man. You know, they didn't go back to that Medicine Man because, look, in the second round, these George Weah will be deploying everything they got. These people aren't willing to go down with a loss, and I hope Idatus, I hope everybody understands what's at stake here. George Weah them are trying to cover up their tracks. They don't care about governing this country. They're just covering up the tracks. So yeah, I agree with you, Ashford. Look, they don't have these plastic bags that they had. They don't have no plastic bag from the Southeast. They don't have nothing. They were scared to go out there. They don't have nothing from the Southeast. So maybe they can show in Monserrate where they have a blue plastic bag, but I think that's about it.
So you're talking about UP, my brother.
Yeah, I'm talking about UP. UP don't have.
They have no plastic bag.
Mr. Willis, please give me.
UP got empty. UP got. I mean, I must say I got blue plastic bag. I got plenty. You want some? I got blue plastic bag. But if they had the evidence, they shouldn't be talking about, they got cheated. Let them present the evidence. If they got all these tally sheets, why are they hiding it? Bring it out. Let's count the tally sheets and see if you got more than 700,000 or 780,000 of votes. Let's see what you have. So I mean, go into the second round though. We got to be more serious here. You got to go into the Southeast. I mean, everybody all the foot soldiers you got to go sit down in the Southeast. I mean, there's a precinct that, and I don't know the exact numbers, but George Weah carried that precinct with Bofa Chambers lost. I mean, somebody need to explain to me how can that precinct George Weah won it by I think 80%, yet his speaker, who supported him was spreading all kind of money in that precinct, lost that precinct. These things just doesn't make sense to me.
You see,
right?
Thank you, and Andre, the truth of what Joel said, you can't overlook certain part of the country. You see, I think the mistake here was you overlooked the Southeast, okay? But George Weah didn't do that. George Weah had forces in Nima, Lofa. People were working. Development were working. So George Weah swept the Southeast. Joseph Boyka, who can barely walk, refused to go to the Southeast, even though the country is divided now in terms of the lack of road connectivity, But Weah traveled the 15 counties, and he made his presence felt, not leaving out Lofat, Nimat, Bapolu, Bon County, Bassa, and everywhere. So we're hoping that they learn from that as we go to the second round.
In the comment section, somebody wrote George Weah paid Bassa rural women for agriculture farming in the amount of 5 million liberty. And it went on to George Weah did not use what Joe Dennis talked about as far as foot soldiers and campaigning. He just highlighted to you, how is it that your ticket, you're the leader on your ticket, and then underneath you are these people that people voting for. Your guy completely lose, but you wind up winning 80% of the votes. Ashford, can we allow ourselves to be objective on this forum? Let's not just cast off restraints and make it seem like we're just talking just because we want to talk. If when things happen like that, we know something went wrong somewhere. And you are right. We ought to come out. I do agree that we should have challenged these results and pushed it to where there was a recount. No questions asked. But where we are right now, we are simply wanting to rally our troops. We simply want to rally the opposition. People who know and they voted on behalf of Liberia. You understand me? They voted for all the candidates that was not George Oponwia. They voted so that he cannot be president. We want those people to go back and make the same decision to get rid of this man. This man is going to destroy Liberia if he is given another 6 more years. We need for y'all to hear us, and y'all need to go and y'all need to make your decision and get rid of George. He must not be president when the dust settles. This is why.
Thank you. Getting rid of George Weah will not be done from the diaspora. Getting rid of
No.
Weah requires people to go out there and vote him out. And what we saw in the first round, it doesn't indicate that you guys really want to get rid of George Weah. So you've got a lot of work to do with 3 weeks to see if you can pull that off. You'd have to decide to take it away.
What we do have, Ashford, is the political will, the collective will of the masses that is bent on ensuring that this man doesn't get a second chance to further perpetuate our young boys and girls into poverty, poor schools, poor roads. All of these challenges are the very engine that drives the collective will of the people to passionately stand up against George Weah. They stood up on September 17 when they walked in the waters filled with feces, in the drenching rain that came down against all of their health impediments. They walked with passion to send a strong message that indeed this burden of poverty, Liberia deserves better, and that they want to experience a life that is worthy of dignity, which is yet being suffocated under this president. So let's be very clear, Ashford. We may not have money, but our vote is more than money. Our collective will is more than money. And if Liberians listening to us tonight, they will see and understand that accepting $100 per voter's card or $10 per voter's card, that money finishes in less than an hour. You got 6 years of hardship to deal with. This is reality. This is serious. Our young children need a future that they can hope for, but not under this government. Thank you.
Okay, let's see if Mrs. Roberts is available now to chime in a little bit.
Let me just add something real quick to editors, if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
This is the reason why I was saying that this opposition needed to, from the start, to come together, Cummings, because, as I stated on this show before, I never thought Cummings had the numbers in Liberia. I mean, I said he was going to win. If the election was in Atlanta and D.C., Cummings would have won. But we know it wasn't in D.C. But Cummings had the money. He had the infrastructure. And UP is broke. UP didn't. I don't know what that bank account looked like now, but UP was broke. UP didn't have money to send people into the Southeast. Let's be realistic here. They didn't have the money. And that's what and George Weah had state resources. He has unlimited money. George Weah can create votes out of thin air. And he did that. I'm being a little bit conspiratorial here, but he did that. And if they don't come together now, and in fact, I'm gonna go a little bit further with my conspiracy here. I still believe this election will be headed towards the Supreme Court. Nobody's gonna win it's going to be a razor thin result. It's going to go to
George Weah as Supreme Court.
Supreme Court. And let me tell you what the conspiracy theorists are saying. What George Weah has offered the Supreme Court. I don't know if it's true or not, but you will hear that at some point, you know, the Chief Justice is set to retire within the next 2 years, but they're going to remove that age restriction and allow the Chief Justice and whoever that he has chosen to run until they die. That is what's being offered, and this is just a conspiracy people talking this, but this is headed back to the Supreme Court. George Weah is not going to win this election fair and square. We know that, but I believe the UP is just they don't have the balls, they don't have the courage, they're not strong enough to challenge this man. So I'll leave it at that.
With the money George Weah has, do you think he's just going to go and take it? Mrs. Lexi Brooks Roberts, are you available to join us now? Okay, Andre, George Weah has a lot of money now, you know, unlike when he first joined the race in 2017. So he's going to take it because give a man of power, according to Mrs. Obama, and he will reveal who he really is.
Yeah, you said it so well. George Weah have a lot of money now. Where did he get a lot of money from now? Is the question that we want to answer, and we want to like bring people to answer that question. We want them to think about that question very strongly, and not just let people like ASHFORD GARLEY gloss over the idea that George Weah has a lot of money now. We want for you to investigate. Use your own conscientious will and figure out where did he get the money from that he has now.
I mean, he robbed the country. He stole the country's money.
There you go. With that being said, you now have a will and a right to make sure he doesn't repeat this behavior. Come on, we are dealing with a rogue. We are dealing with a rogue, and we need to address this thing like what it actually is. We don't even need this thing to be a competition. We need people to actually, truthfully reason in their mind and go out there and pay attention to what's going on in Liberia.
Mr. Fuller, I know that, welcome to the show. I know you're not the official spokesperson for the Gonglo scam, but we're not going into the second round with these elections. I don't know what your thoughts are.
Well, yeah, as you rightfully stated, I do not speak for Councillor Gonglo, nor do I speak for the party LPP. Actually, I'm not even a member of that party. I only support Councillor Gonglo because of his track record. So I don't know. I haven't spoken to him recently, so I don't know which direction he's going. But one thing I can say for certain is, given the man that I know, I don't see any way possible that he can support CDC. I don't, because that would go against. But I cannot speak for him. That is just my own imagination. So yes, I cannot speak for him. But just to address the issue the two brothers raised about the elections, even with conspiracy theory and other stuff like that. You are not alone in that, my brother. When George Weah was very popular, he won, I believe, was 38%. I think that was the highest vote he won, and that was in 2017 in the first round. Today, where the people are starving in Liberia because of him, drugs are everywhere because of him, and NEC wants us to believe that George Weah got 44% of the vote. I know 43.8. They want us to believe that he got 44%. That is, even in my wildest imagination, I won't believe that. This election, people are overlooking it, but these numbers are cooked. These numbers are cooked. How in the world will someone like Appleton, who they got to know, because you and I and many of us on this show are very active when it comes to Liberian politics. Never heard of him one day Even the people in Liberia are questioning
Never
who is
heard of him
happening.
before.
So now my issue here is Unity Party. Unity Party. I see them talking about second round. I think what they should be discussing now is a verified counting process. Counting process. Let them know. Let the people know where these votes came from. Even the Southeastern vote. I don't even believe it.
Thank you.
I don't even believe it that the kinds of numbers Joe we ever get. Some area he gets 34,000. You know, the father get 1,000, 2,000. That's not. I mean, it doesn't even look real.
Thank you. Well, we saw a letter today from multiple political parties addressed to the National Elections Commission. I think we'll make that the next segment. If you guys don't have anything to add on the last one, then we can continue. Andrew, you wanted to say something?
No, I was just aiming. Brother was just talking about these numbers.
Okay.
These
Okay.
numbers
Okay.
Oh, actually, before you move on, the letter. I saw the letter in the chat room.
Okay, but
That was also
let's discuss. You just spoke, my man. We're about to discuss the letter now. But just
Oh, that's a letter discussing. Oh, I thought you wanted to move on. Okay, yes, I'll wait.
with it.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I just got on, so I thought you guys were done.
Okay. Idatus, you in fact you brought it to my attention. The letter that was signed today by Sue Beslow, Yanti, Alexander Cummings, Mr. Moneyban, asking the National Elections Commission to hold very close to the ballot box from the previous election. And I don't know what they're thinking. I don't want to go into forensic display of what happened, because I listened to Mr. Cummings when he said people were sophisticated and made it very hard to trace the way the numbers came out in the first round. Mr. Addy.
You know, Ashford, there's a tendency for people to divide the opposition, right? But I think that letter is a good step in the right direction, and they ought to be applauded for that. The sanctity of our electoral process is a national security issue. So every attempt to forensically audit those ballots is in the interest of preserving the sanctity of our democracy. Our vote is our power. So I certainly celebrate the collective will of a cross-section of the opposition to want to do that free of charge to the government and or the NEC. So that is a great step in the right direction. We should all celebrate that and now denigrate it, because it's important that there can be lessons learned so that our next elections come 2029, those errors that may have been discovered or will be discovered can be corrected so that Liberians' votes can be protected, because that's the voice we have every 6 years. So I certainly applaud them for that, and I encourage every political leader to join in that effort and celebrate this in the right direction. It is my hope that NEC will honor that request.
Joel, do you agree? Because to me, it doesn't make any sense at all for a guy like Moneyman who campaigned from county to county. I mean, you saw the videos of his campaign style. I mean, the people were excited, wanted to see him, and you telling me this gentleman in the entire theater got less than 5,000 votes in the entire country. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Look, the mystery of these results is I mean, it's befuddling to me. But let me just say something about that letter. I read the letter, the first paragraph, and I started reading. I'm a little bit confused about these people, because they are telling NEC to hold these ballots. And to me, you need to be at the court yesterday, taking these ballots away from them yesterday. Not this letter. Hold it for when? When George Weah went and burns it down? I mean, what is the point of that letter? They don't seem angry enough. They don't seem, and I don't want to be angry, but they need to be in the court yesterday. They need to be taking this ballot away from them, not allowing them to cook it some more to make it look right. Okay, we don't know what the NEC continues to do with these ballots, but they needed to be hauled away from them last week. Okay, so this letter is just it doesn't it shows unity, but they're not doing. They're like a toothless tiger here. They're not doing nothing. Thank you.
Okay. Andre,
I'm here.
I know you there. After Andre, I'll call you. Yeah.
No. I would like to hear what she has to say to us, please.
Andre.
Oh, what,
Listen,
Andrew? You came here for my business?
Andre, she's just telling us that she's in the house. Like, oh, go ahead, Andre.
Yeah. No. Let me address Andre, Mr.
Oh,
Garley, please.
Ashford, I
Firstly,
can't.
I want to say good evening. Just like you came for me, I'm here for you.
Oh my! I'm extending my dear. I'm gonna extend a courtesy to you.
Oh, okay. I thought you were saying like come on, because you got something to tell me.
Oh my!
Because let me say this to
The
you
other
guys.
first, you looking to peek. Oh,
You can tell I'm not a fussy person, right? But I want to firstly say good evening to you all. Thank you for holding it down. Duty before they say pleasure. So I like to address the issue regarding the letter.
Okay.
I applaud the letter. I think it takes guts. I think it's commendable. I think it's courageous. Only because it's a forensic. And to Joel, who's thinking, oh, they're going to cook it, or you see, there's something going on in this country that's boiling, that's going to either bring change or continue the same old, same old. But most of us, as you stated numerous times, want to see a different Liberia. And so when someone takes the time to do something about an issue, that's firstly commendable because there's so many ways, as we have all stated, that we could resolve issues which in the past have been violent. But today we have the internet, the World Wide Web, the global village that's looking at everything. So if anyone cooks up or think they can go and take those documents and dump them in the ocean, they will still have to account because now if you don't have the things that you said you used to win the elections or to be at the point you are, then you need to, there's more cloud over your head. So yes, it's very commendable. I want to applaud Mr. Cummings, Mrs. Beslow, Nati, and Mr. Moneyba for having the courage, having to see what they went through. They have first-hand information that something is sinister. And I said that on October 11th or the 10th that night, and we'll continue to say it until that forensic audit is done. Whether he wins or he doesn't win, but something will be revealed. Thank you.
Andre?
We were crucified. Yes, Ashford, I simply wanna commend this letter here with all my strength because this is my cry. We should have definitely challenged these results, and this letter is showing that it's a challenge. This is not true. And I wish the spirit that this letter has been posted with, the opposition can rally themselves together. This is all I want to see. In the spirit of this letter, let the opposition using this letter, let them surround themselves. Let this letter be the thing that galvanize them so that they can come against George Weah to get rid of him. Now, all I want to say.
Thank you. You can get angry all you want. You can want to.
No, I'm not angry, brother.
I'm just saying something. You can get angry all you want. You can try to say you want to get rid of George Weah, but the things that are going to make you to get rid of George Weah, you're not doing those things. If you all know that these elections were not free and fair, come on, speak to the people and tell them, say, you know what, we want the recount. But now you're asking, like, what Joel said. Joel said you waiting for some letter, and by the time they get to check the ballot boxes, Joshua is already president going into his second term. So what will you then say? Whereby you wanted to speak
He
to the
will be
letter?
removed.
Joel, you want not Joel, Foley, you want to speak to the letter? Then
Yes.
we'll have one of the a surprise guest here. He ran as vice president, a vice presidential candidate for one of the parties. I think it's the party that belongs to Mrs. Krumah. So he will join us shortly. Go ahead, Wilbert.
You know, actually, when I saw the letter in the chat room today, I said, okay, this is a step in the right direction. But after giving it some thought, I like, you know what, these guys are not serious. The Cyril Bessel, Yanti, Cummings, Monaba, they are not serious. If I was Cummings has a lot to lose in this process than any other person. I would have been in the court, as our brother said, yesterday, not even today. I would have been in the court yesterday. Talking about keeping document. There's no keeping document for what? Do you think George Weah will rig the elections and keep the document, the vote, the ballot paper? Does that even make sense to you? So honestly, I don't think they are serious. I don't know if this is a face-saving posture or what you may call it, but this is not seriousness at all to me. They should have been at the court. Those numbers don't represent the reality on the ground. There is no way. Even my candidate, Councilor Gongo, despite the fact that I support him, but Cummings has done tremendous work in Liberia since 2016, and you telling me that's the numbers he got? Some guy came from behind the corner that was inventor called Appleton, got more votes than Cummings. Honestly, I don't know what's going on with the people. I don't know what a negotiation is going on, but they're that serious. That letter is a joke.
Yeah.
Thank you. Mrs. Roberts, I want you to please check this guy called Wisses Supremely. He's been very disrespectful, calling political actors names. I don't like that. You know, if he doesn't stop it, we have no option but to block him. Okay, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, we have with us Mr. Tomakura. Tomakura is in fact the running mate to Mrs. Krumah, and these just ended elections. Tomakura came on this platform and said they are the new leaders of the country. They're going to win the election. And instead of winning now, I think not even 0%, something way less than zero that what they have. I don't know, because he looks like Appleton. I don't know if Appleton took his vote but it can't be Appleton taking his vote because he got darker beer and Appleton got some great English beer. So let us listen to Mr. Thomas Correa to see what he has to say.
Thank you, Mr. Gotti. Thank you for the introduction. And I know you said something, but it's not the reason why we did not win the elections. But there were several things that was done by us as an independent political party. And if you look at the chat down, we're training number 9 on the chat, and we tapped Clarence Mulva, who we were refused. I mean, in the process, a lot of media institutions refused to cover us, to give her coverage, especially Spoon TV, which we approached several times. And I know they were with Clarence all over the place, but we tapped in 1,600 points. Sarah Beslow, you mentioned here, we tapped her. And so I think with our being in the race, we did extremely well with all media, with the media coverage not willing to be with us in the process.
So what happened? What happened? You top now. What happened? You're supposed to be the vice president of the country. What happened?
There's a lot of things that you don't know because you're not within the race. But as we progress to next election, by the grace of God, things will be much, much more better. As you all are aware, I mean, especially you, Mr. Gotti, I was vetted to this process 3 months before, like 4 to 3 months before the elections. And I came with all my energy and resources and I changed the entire dimension of the process, and I'm excited, as compared to those who need names were out there like the Clarence Mobile, Sarah Beslow, and so many else, for me to be tapping them in a race today. I mean, I am very, very much delighted in the fact that I have gone that far, and to be over those that were mostly mentioned by you guys in the media.
Okay, I mean your PA brother has something for you. Idatus, Thomas Correa is here to take a few
Well,
questions.
Mr. Kwa, let me first of all congratulate you
Thank you,
for
sir.
participating in these elections and the fact that you came number 9. But
Okay.
Liberia is at a very crucial juncture. A decision needs to be made concerning where we want to bring this change. And certainly you were in the opposition because you do not want George Weah to take the helm of power for the next 6 years in light of the poverty, the corruption, among several other things.
Correct.
At this point, has your party decided who to go with?
At this point, I would tell you, my brother, we have not decided because I know everybody will say, oh, okay, you guys are in opposition for one goal and stuff. But then you will notice that the opposition party that's supposed to be reaching out to people, they have not even started to reach out in the process. And it kind of looking funny when you just put yourself out there to be like, oh, okay, I'm coming to be with you or whatever, without somebody reaching you and your own values. It's kind of funny. So we have not decided anything. Other people reaching out to us, but I mean, in the opposition, there's no one have reached out to us. So I think they are so complacent that they have won this election. But I tell you what, they should be on their feet by now. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, the wise man once says, seek to become something of value. If people don't call you, it means they don't need you. It means you
Correct.
value. Maybe that one of the reasons why they wouldn't call you.
Yeah.
So the fact that they're not reaching out, it means they don't need you. You're nobody.
So what happens if other people reaching out to me? That means I have values, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course, then. Yeah.
So let me follow up here. Mr. Kwa,
correct.
Liberia is bigger than our personal political values. You ran in this campaign, you criticized George Weah's administration, so you came to make a difference. The truth remains that, as opposed to people reaching out to us, if we value the change that we once believed in as independent party, wouldn't that make sense that the greater good of the country is put forth, irrespective of who reaches out first? Because Liberia deserves better by the very vision of change you promote it.
Yeah, what you say, it makes sense. But then what happened is, what happened if those people we claim to be opposition to come to us and tell us, say that, listen, the change you guys were fighting for, we are in for it. We want you to come on, give us an idea, how can we do it and stuff. So what happens if it goes the other way? What happens? So we should be looking at that also. If the other people cannot reach to us, and other people say, "Hey, listen, the changes that you guys talking about, we are waiting to do it, and we believe with you as an opposition, on our side, it's gonna be better, and we can work with you." And because the bigger picture in the thing is change, the world change. We want better Liberia. So, I mean, so let's say vice versa.
My final comment, Mr. Crow, on behalf of the Honorable Joseph Imamboyka, who I sympathize with, would like to reach out to you in this public manner, to join us. Let's make a difference for Liberia. I'm confident that if Mr. Luto Tape will try to reach out to you, join us. Let's make a difference. Thank you.
And Mr. Crow, you never know. Maybe they might have something for you to help in the fitness department, so you can teach people how to lift weight and all that kind of stuff.
No, I'm not into these few days. So yeah, okay. I reason with you. I understand your plea. Where do we join you? Where do we start from? Where am I going? Who am I going to?
Excellent. So
making the shopping here on Bridge Radio. You know, paper.
So
Look at my job.
Listen. No. He's not looking
No,
for
not,
job. He's a
I mean,
patriotic
no,
Liberian.
Ashford,
He,
I'm very
Mr. Proud, don't
satisfied as
listen
a
to Ashford. He's
businessman,
playing.
and I'm satisfied
You are
with the
playing.
business I do. I've
He
been in
is
this business
playing.
for
Don't
several
listen to
years.
him. Don't listen to him.
Yeah.
He's playing. Don't listen to him. My brother, listen. Do you have a team on the ground right now in Liberia?
Actively, of course. We have 3
Excellent.
offices in Liberia right now, in Monrovia.
Excellent. So please send me your number and you will be contacted so that we can join forces together and make the change that we can believe in. Vice President Joseph Imamboyka is just the instrument of this change. But we want to be the change we can believe in by removing this cancer of a leadership that has destroyed our country. And as youthful as you are, carrying the burden for change, you are encouraged to join the train. Let's make this difference together. Please send me your number. Thank you.
Thank you. I will go in the room with the rest of the guys, but how they can ask you one question each. I'm gonna start with Joel. Then Joel.
Sure.
Congratulations on your achievements, Mr. Kura.
Thank you, Joel.
I'm going to come back. Let me go back to something we talked about, and I ask you a question. In terms of what Mrs. Brooks was saying about that letter being a great letter. Look, by the time these people get these tally sheets or from the NEC, George Weah will be finishing, my man, they write it auto tine. They will not be able to find out tine. So yeah, stop it. We need these things. We need these things yesterday. Okay, Mr. Kura. I listen to you, and I agree. The UP people need to show some respect and reach out to all of the people in the opposition. I agree. But I certainly hope you don't. And I'm not giving you any advice here on who to support, but the reason why I think most people in the opposition was running was for the change, to take place in Liberia. George Weah has been there for 6 years, man. If he come to you today with some snake oil change salesman stuff, you can't sit here and tell me that you will be willing to hear George Weah talking about change in Liberia. And let me just give you an example. I'm in America here. There is no way I would support Donald Trump. Even if Donald Trump then reached out to me and said, my man, we need you, come support me. There is no way, because me and Donald Trump, on principles, we collide. There is nothing I can ever agree with him on. The man say one thing in public, and privately he does something different. And I think that's the same thing with the CDC people. So although I agree with you, they need to show you guys some respect. I mean, what you have achieved, I mean, you guys were like silent. Nobody knew you, and you were able to get votes. How you did it, I mean, that is amazing. That is amazing. And I think going forward, my generation, we need to look at, people like you guys. I wish you guys had reached out to the wider public so we can, give, because we didn't. It was just Cummings boycott. I mean, they saturated, the whole opposition ticket. They saturated, so nobody else could really, had any voice here. So. I applaud you, man. Thank you for all you guys have done. Thank you.
No, let me get a little bit. I give Mr. Garlic the credit. I think I was on his show like 2 or 3 times. You are one of those people that really give me his platform, to be able to talk to the Liberian people, especially in the diaspora. And I really appreciate him. I know we visited other media institutions like Spoon TV, which we have to pay a huge amount of money in order to visit the studio. And I will applaud Mr. Gotti, for him. It was on a pro bono basis, and I already giving the big thank you for that. And like you said, and I will re-emphasize this again, on this again. We were in the campaign, but mainly, although we're not being covered by the media, but mostly we're not covered by the media, but we were speaking with those voters one-on-one, and we were reaching out to them. I know you had my brother Stanton there, at one point I contacted him, because when I learned that he had 2 persons that signed with that the Clarence Monoma, and I asked him, I said, brother, there's any way 1 person, I'll be responsible for the transportation, feeding, and daily allowance, and I will turn down that. And I know they have a big coverage everywhere he goes, everything he does, and it was okay, I never had problem with it. But then as we go through as we went through the elections, we, for us, but I said at some point I got afraid. I said, oh wow, all these guys there will probably be number 20 on the list. But if we can go through these elections and tap the like of Claren Moldova, Sarah Beslow, and several other, 11 other candidates, I would say that, it's about time that most of the media institution give everyone the chance, when it comes to these things, because you never know. You saw what Appleton came from.
So Mr. Crow,
Appleton,
Mr. Crow, let me bring in George Andre Williams. So George Andre Williams, if Mr. Crow is saying that other people are reaching out to him, but the Unity Party camp is not reaching out to him, that speaks volume. That means that he doesn't want to be affiliated with the CDC. He wants to. He wants that change, so he wants to be with the Unity Party people. They not even give him the credit. Just gotta show some respect to the man,
and they feel so complacent. That's a word.
You see,
you can't do that.
Andre, George Andre Williams, where the ball going again? What, Mrs. Roberts? Please have a say in this.
Yeah, George Andre Williams probably went to talk to Mr. Combs because by his own confession, the only reason
you can prepare for George Andre Williams
train is because it's a sad thing that you hear people who say they have interest in the country. They're only there because Cohen is my tribal man. This is a problem. People have good candidates, and you only go for someone because they're your tribe or they're your kinsman or they're your friend or they y'all went to school together or you lived in a town before. Those are comical reasons. But I just want to congratulate you, my brother, Brother Craft, for your ambition in going in that country, our country, where with all of the odds against you, like you said, it's all about name recognition and who's who and who did what, that they gather around and leave out the people who really will make a difference based on their ethics and their hard work and what the intentions of the people that they see. So I want to applaud you for that. But we'll continue to wait and see who the leader that he will take the lead and reach out to people or his team, at least, instead of people on social media who claim to be nobody or just a sympathizer or that like this team for whatever reason. I think it's the leaders that should take the hem of the again, uniting and coming up with a united front.
Okay, we'll hear from Foley, and then we will ask for your closing statement. Foley?
Yes. Okay, good. All right, I thought I was off. Yeah, I would like to commend you guys for the effort and for what you guys did. I mean, I honestly did not I don't know. I think I heard the numbers of. I think I may have heard the number of votes you guys acquire. But whatever the case is, I want to commend you guys, and I think this is the beginning of the process. If you still intend to remain in politics, this should not be your end. This should just be the beginning. And we admonish you to keep striving. There are other good things you can do in Liberia. You're a young man. You have Liberians at home, and Liberia needs all the brightest of minds to go back home and do the utmost best. But one thing I know we have in common, I applaud your statement that from what I gather is that you are looking for change other than CDC. So if that is the case, I will ask you, even if you are not if no one has reached out to you, do the best you can. You don't have to be part of the rescue team. You don't have to be talked to directly. Um, there are other things you can do. I support Councilor Gongo. I have my own concerns with Unity Party, but at the end of the day, I know Joshua is bad for Liberia. So since Councilor Gongo did not make it, at this point, anything I can do to help the Unity Party, Joseph Barker and the Unity Party to remove Joshua, I certainly will do. And I admonish every Liberian to do the same. Thank you very much, bro.
Thank you, Mr. Kura. Want to say thanks. Now you can begin giving us your partner statement as we move to the next segment. Go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to appreciate you for letting me to be on your platform tonight, and I would just want to say I listened to what everyone said on the platform, and seriously taking it into consideration. And the thing there is, I'm mostly, sympathizing with the Unity Party, but then I'm like the second person to take it. I'm like the vice senate bearer. So most of the time, I will go to my, we had two females in the race, two female candidates in the race, and we showed Sarah Beslow and Bill Nkrumah. Bill Nkrumah was serving as the vice presidential candidate to her, and I will go to her like today. I was talking to her. I said, "Oh, Madam Kuman, you think what's the way forward from now? Because I mean, the final result have been announced, and we going into the second round. So what do you think? What do you think? And her concern was there. She was like, I heard that the Unity Party reached out to Clarence and Bethel, which I think we significantly when with them and they reach out to them. If they cannot reach out to me, so that shows
You think your numbers? You think your numbers are good numbers?
Of course, our numbers are good numbers. As compared to other candidates in the race. Yeah, as compared to that, and I would tell you that I actually listen I'm and one of the reasons we kind of play a low ball game when it comes to Lima County. I'm from Lima County too, and my name is a household name. My grandfather who once served as a representative in Lima County as a senator. So if you ask anyone, and I try not to make things so complicated. And if you
How many
notice,
votes you get from Lima County?
I significant. Most of my votes came from Lima County. I will tell you, and we tried not to even canvass in Lima County. I will tell you that because those were some of the reasons. Yeah. So the thing there is, people call me and they say, "Oh, listen, Thomas, you were in the race, and then you don't let go anything because you could be one of those tomorrow." But I didn't think on that. I never thought on that, and because of that, I did not. You ask anyone, my political leader, I went to almost all the other counties, but never put forth to my own county.
Thank you,
which
Tom.
of course, yeah.
Thank you.
It was done on purpose in order to save the other side, from some sort of voting conflict in the so yeah.
Thank you, Thomas. Thanks for taking the time, my man.
Yeah.
My regards to Mrs. Kroma, and I know we'll be in touch. I'm making some plans to do something that would shock a lot of you guys on the ground. So to stay in touch. All right.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mr. God.
Please give your number to Ashford to send it to me, please.
Okay. Yeah, I think he has my number.
Congratulations.
Okay. Thank you. I actually giving the WhatsApp number.
Okay, bro.
Okay.
You have to send it again because I think my phone. I refreshed my phone, reset my phone, and I lost a lot of contacts. Okay, Tom, thank you so much.
All right, thank you too.
Well, folks, again, I want to say thanks to all of you. We've reached a point where we will begin taking closing statement and call this a night. Let us begin with Andre. George Andre Williams. Okay, I think he's still in something. Yeah, how do you call it? Okay, Joel.
He's still talking to
Yeah,
Coon.
sure, Dennis. As we conclude tonight, may give us your partner still, man.
Yeah, listen, my vision is to for George Weah to be no longer president, and I'm calling on the Liberian people to please show up to vote George Weah out of power. And if it so happens that he cheats to win this election, we must hold all these newly elected people feet to the fire. Hopefully, George Weah will be the first president to be impeached for cheating in the Liberian election. So, with that said, please go out and vote. I believe the election is November 14th, in 3 weeks from now. Please go out and vote George Weah out. I don't even want this election to be close. Vote George Weah out. Thank you.
Okay, Fuller.
Yes. My appeal to the Liberian people, given what we have seen from the results announced by NEC, clearly the results do not represent the reality on the ground. And I say this to say because we saw all these, we saw Cummins, we saw Monamba, we saw Gonglo, and the numbers given do not represent the reality on the ground. So what I'm urging Liberians to do is protect your votes. Protect your votes now, protect it elections day, and after elections. If you are unsatisfied, peaceful assembly, peaceful protest is a process. It's part of the democratic process. Just be certain that when you are stating something, you should have the facts. That is why I also have a problem with Unity Party when it came out to declare early victory. I think that was premature. When you want to declare victory with your tally sheet in your hands. So I'm saying, Liberian people, protect your votes. If you feel the election is rigged, come to the street. Stay on the street until you get a full recount of the vote and verify recount of the vote. Be prepared for sustained protests because apparently what we are saying, George Weah will do anything to stay in power. However, the will of the people are more powerful than whatever he has. Good night.
Thank you. Idatu's at it.
My fellow Liberians, for the last 6 years, your dreams and visions have been deferred by President George Weah. Genuine change comes with patience, commitment, dedication, and a fight that is born of peace, not violence. In the next 2 weeks, you will be deciding a leader. That decision will constitute a commitment to poverty for the next 6 years or to prosperity for the next 6 years. For the last 6 years, you've suffocated under rampant corruption, poverty, starvation, lack of good quality education, poor healthcare system, unemployment, poverty on the rise by 52%, according to the UNDP. It is time that we make a conscious decision. Don't be discouraged. This second round should give you all the more the motivation necessary to collectively bring the change. Because united we stand, divided we fall. The government will spend money to buy your voting cards and do several other things to make you delay your next future. But these dreams and aspirations of our children, our mothers, our fathers cannot be deferred any longer. In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, we're facing the fierce urgency of the now. And this now has to do with whether or not you can wake up tomorrow having the ability to feed your children or your children having the ability to go to good schools. George Weah is not the answer. Joseph Boyka has represented this throughout his life. And we're therefore calling all of you to join the train with passion, with vigor, with commitment, with anger to bring the change that you so deserve, so that tomorrow you can be a part of history and say, yes, united we stood, together we've brought forth a change. In the words of Mr. Alexander Cummings, he said that this government is irredeemably corrupt, dangerously incompetent, unchangeably irresponsible.
Hmm.
In the words of Tiawan Gonglo, he said very clearly, Liberia is in an ICU, intensive critical unit. And if you truly believe in these two leaders, then you will join the Honorable Joseph Imamboyka to think Liberia, love Liberia. Let's build Liberia. But we got to rescue it first before we can fix it. Join us. Let's do both. Rescue and fix. Thank you.
Thank you. Mrs. Lexi Brooks Roberts.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Garley. Thank you to my fellow panelists. Thank you to our viewing and listening audience for joining Rich Radio Africa as we bring you information that matters. And most importantly, we ask that you please support financially, not just morally. Thank you for all you do. In closing, I would like to say thank you to Joel, who pointed out that that letter should have been written yesterday. However, they said patience is a virtue. Now, had he done that just right after the announcement, which ended today, it was premature. So we waited till the end, or he waited, or they waited to make sure they had substantive information. And don't think, when you make a complaint, you don't just go and complain. You see something or know something in order to complain about. Like I said yesterday, we started a war in 1985. I was younger then, but I know of it because of history. So we cannot continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. I want to applaud Mr. Cummings again and the people that have signed on to rescue, in using the term of the UP, but in actuality to fight for the rights of our people. Thank you, and we'll continue to stand with the right side. Thank you, Mr. Garley.
It is good. Thanks to everyone. God willing, we'll be back next Monday. Unless something dramatically happens, then you will see us this week. In the meantime, I want to say a big thanks to our viewing audience, our folks in the diaspora and other parts of the world. Please allow me to borrow the wordings of the wise man as we go to bed tonight. In the words of Les Brown, he said, when you fall, make sure you land on your back, because when you can look up, you can get up. A setback is a setup for a comeback. The mastermind, Africa's media, do this extraordinaire. I'm ASHFORD GARLEY. Have a good night.
This is what united us in the first place, right? This good music. This is how I got to fall in love with Rich Radio Africa.